Reverend Jack Elliott. Beyond Limits invites you to chart your own spiritual path so that you may stand in your own authenticity and live a full and vibrant life. Now, here's Reverend Jack with this week's program.
What do you want? Happy New Year, everyone. We are on the eve of what is going to be, I know, a glorious new year ahead. So now is the perfect time for you to really take a look at what it is that you want in the new year. Now, I'm going to be radically different here. We're not going to talk about goal setting. We're not going to do the New Year's resolutions. We're not talking about that. That's not what this philosophy teaches. We're going to use the principles of science of mind and spirit to really take a look at what worked last year and what's going to be different in the year ahead. You know, we have this opportunity to take this teaching. And when I say this teaching, I'm speaking of science of mind and spirit, a practice that is over 100 years old at this point. A practice that is a faith, a philosophy, a way of living that is designed to get you from where you are to where you want to be, and do so by honoring all pathways to God. So, by honoring all pathways to God, we are acknowledging you get to make it up the way that you want to make it up on your spiritual journey. You have been spiritually emancipated in this. You are no longer bound by the dogma of any religion or philosophy that you might have grown up in. You are now in a place where you can chart your own path to living a dynamic life because you're willing to go beyond the limits of you might have known them before. So as we prepare to do this work, we're going to keep our attention on our intention to use the tools that we know that will get us from where we are to where we want to be. And I'm going to introduce the idea of the 3 C's to you to utilize that as you do your discerning work around this holiday to prepare for the new year. We're going to look at clarity. We're going to look at collaboration. And we're going to look at commitment. So using those 3 C's are going to be the tools that we have in our spiritual tool bag to figure this thing out. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is if you have someone in your intimate circle of friends that you can partner with this week, I want you to do a process that I call the what do you want process. If you think about it, just take a moment and kind of reflect on when is the last time somebody actually asked me, Jack, what do you want? Say it to yourself. When is the last time that somebody said to you, what do you want? I bet it's been a while. It's not something that we easily do. In fact, it happens so rarely in our life that when somebody actually does ask us what we might want, we sometimes don't even have an answer prepared. In fact, our first answer, when forced to answer, might be world peace. I want people to be happy. What I just want you to be happy. Well, there's something a little deeper than that. And so what I want you to do is to have that friend that you set across from one another, that you look in one another's eyes, just like I'm looking in your eyes right now. And we take this opportunity to lovingly ask the question, what do you want? And they're going to only ask you that question. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Just in that fashion. And what I want you to do on the receiving end is to not edit what comes up and out of you. Because right here, right now, Spirit is whispering to you. Spirit is encouraging you to ask for what it is that you want to live your most authentic life. Spirit is guiding you, going to ask you to go deeper into your heart to find out what it is that you want. Now, when you get there, don't edit, like I said. So if something pops out like, I want to sing in the church choir, or I want to learn how to go ice skating, don't judge it. Don't be that negative voice that goes, you could never do that. You would not be successful at that. Instead, just be with it. Jot it down. And to think that if this is what I'm called to be, what do I have to do to make that come true? Maybe wanting to be a singer is you merely asking for yourself to be heard by someone that matters to you. So be willing to do that prayer work around it. Once you've done that exercise with someone, then turn it around. You be the one to make it safe for them to answer the question, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Once we open ourselves up to that, and once we open ourselves up to receiving that message, we know that if the message was brought to us, the how to get there part can also be brought to us. That's the doingness of it. We know what we want. We know what we want to be. Now we must ask for what is ours to do to make that real. Now, if you do that process, what you may have to do is you may be called upon to forgive. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about forgiveness as you approach this new year. I want you to look at forgiveness a little differently than how you might have looked at it before. Because oftentimes in life, we have this idea of we can get to intellectually, okay, in order to let this go, I forgive you. I will just let it go. I forgive you. But doing it with that intention, doing it with that energy, is like saying, I forgive you, but I haven't forgotten what it is that you've done. And I will find a time to get back at you. So that's kind of the standard way of forgiving that we've accepted in our society. What I want to remind you of, that when you truly do forgive someone for doing something, you don't even remember what it is that they've done. They may have to remind you. And so that is kind of a radical forgiveness, to where we can forgive without attachment to the outcome. So I will forgive you for that indiscretion because I know it was not your intention to hurt me. You didn't do that thing just to hurt me. You were out there having your own experience of life, doing you, doing what you do, and I allowed myself to be hurt by that. So therefore, I forgive you and I let it go. And I know that when I radically forgive you and I let it go, Spirit takes it off into the vapors of the universe and it is released. So our prayer for the new year ahead is any time that we are called to forgive, we are called to radically forgive so that we have no attachment to it anymore. And that is a job that is best done internally. And what I mean by that, be willing to radically forgive yourself this time for anything that you think was left undone in the year that we just ended. Let it go. You didn't do it wrong. Everything that manifested and happened in the year of 2018 was happening the way it was supposed to happen. If something was left undone, it was left undone. Look at it fresh again with new eyes and decide, do I want to continue to do it? Do I want to do it again this year? Let me put it back on the list. I'll find a better way to be more attentive to it. I will keep my intention on my intention to get it done this year. And I forgive myself for not doing it last year because I wasn't ready to do it last year. Radically forgive yourself for it. Be accountable. Now, oftentimes in this teaching, I talk about the difference between being responsible and being accountable. So I want to bring that lesson home to you one more time because I know that your goal for the new year, your intention for the new year, is to be accountable for everything that happens in your life. Accountable means that you accept your role in it. So, for example, if you park your car on the busy street in front of your house, and in the middle of the night, a drunk driver comes by and sideswipes the car, the driver that is intoxicated is responsible for hitting your car, but you're accountable for having made the choice to park on the busy street in front of your house. That's accepting the accountability for everything that happens in your life. Now you may say to me, but Reverend Jack, he was drunk. It's his fault. Yes, he's responsible, but you're owning your part in it. I bet that when you parked on the busy street, as opposed to pulling around the corner on the side street or putting the car away in the garage or getting into the parking place, you had the thought, I wonder if my car will be safe here. That's Spirit whispering. That's your intuition telling you, be accountable. Be accountable in this. Don't beat yourself up for not having done it. Be open to seeing the lesson in it so that the next time you can make a different choice. And when you make a different choice the next time, the consequences will be more life-affirming to you. Here's the other thing. Ask Spirit, what is yours to atone for in this new year? When we look back on the year that just ended, we may come up with things that we could have done differently. We may come up with, I should have said something and I didn't say something. I should have had my hand at somebody's back and I didn't do it. Be willing to be the demonstration of being authentic and go to them to say, I'm sorry. What is it that I can do to atone for excluding you or not talking with you or for making this error? You see, we've gotten too comfortable in our society of just saying, I'm sorry, and believing that we're off the hook. Saying I'm sorry is like that old way of forgiving. I'm going to ask you to radically be atoneful for the errors that you've made, or you perceived to make, and be willing to go to the other person and saying, how can I make this right? Now they may come back to you and say, you can't. But they might come back to you and say, don't worry about it. I've already forgiven you. Then you no longer have to carry that energy with you. So I leave you with this. As you approach this new year, be willing to do the work required for you to move beyond your limits of thinking, beyond your paradigms that you've gotten you here thus far. Be willing to radically forgive others and to forgive yourself. Be willing to radically atone for the mistakes that we make and realize that they're lessons. And to be in absolute gratitude for the new year, the clean slate, the new beginning that has been gifted to you at this time. You know, with each and every breath, you're given a new beginning. Be grateful. Embrace it. Use it to its fullest advantage. And remember, I care less about what you're thinking. I just want to know that you're thinking. So be thankful. Be thankful. And understand that if you want to change something, first change your mind. And if you want to change the world around you, change what's within you first, and you'll be off to a good start. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and write to me. Communicate to me. Let's be in dialogue. Let me know how this new year is unfolding to you. Write me at RevJack@CentralValleyCSL.org. Let us know how your life is working. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching Beyond Limits with Reverend Jack Elliott. If you enjoyed today's program, we invite you to share it with your friends. If you'd like to be surrounded by like-minded people charting their own spiritual path, you're invited to join Reverend Jack in the community known as the Central Valley Center for Spiritual Living. Central Valley CSL is located at 723 West Central Avenue and between West and Fruit in Fresno, California. If you have questions for Reverend Jack, please email him at revjack@centralvalleycsl.org. Thanks for watching.
This is important news for people who have been exposed to the weed killer Roundup in commercial settings and later developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. According to the World Health Organization's research on cancer, the active ingredient in the weed killer Roundup, glyphosate, can cause cancers such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup in a commercial setting such as farming, landscaping, or golf course maintenance, and then developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you could be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. If you or a loved one were exposed to the weed killer Roundup and were then diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the law offices of Davis and Crump right now to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Attention all timeshare owners. Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you misled and confused by what you were buying? Did the timeshare fail to deliver what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid and just won out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance, and every day we help hundreds of timeshare victims protect their rights, and we can help you too. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever, saving you thousands. But you must act now. Call now for a free consultation. With one simple call, the professionals at Timeshare Compliance can legally terminate your timeshare agreement and help end your financial suffering. You could save thousands. So call now before another payment is due. Timeshare Compliance is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait.
Call 800-455-0830. 800-455-0830.
Attention all timeshare owners. Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you misled and confused by what you were buying? Did the timeshare fail to deliver what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid and just won out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance, and every day we help hundreds of timeshare victims protect their rights, and we can help you too. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever, saving you thousands. But you must act now. Call now for a free consultation. With one simple call, the professionals at Timeshare Compliance can legally terminate your timeshare agreement and help end your financial suffering. You could save thousands. So call now before another payment is due. Timeshare Compliance is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait.
Call 800-455-0830. 800-455-0830.